Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading Satellite Office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Sunday, January the 13th, 2013, and here is today's week in review brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. Want to first start by taking a look to see how the indices closed the week out here. All right, we had the, let's go ahead and zoom this in here a bit for you guys. Okay, we had the NASDAQ up 0.87%. We had the Russell 2000 up 0.57%. We had the Dow Jones up 0.78%. The S&P 500 was up 0.69%. Taking a look at the GLD, gold was up 1.02%. Taking a look at crude oil was up 0.55%. Okay, now we're taking a look at some key sectors and indices here. The oil index was up 1.09%. The banks, the BKX, was up 0.69%. That's your banking index there. Your Dow transports were up 1.07%, and the standout sector for the week was the semiconductors, up 1.79%. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the charts here, see how the indices are shaping up, what levels to watch, see where what sectors have money, some nice money flow that could be coming into them going into the next coming weeks here, and we're going to take a look to see what stocks are setting up the best. All right, going to go over a couple stocks, but of course, if you guys want to take a look at the stocks that we're really going to be watching for the following trading week that is coming up here tomorrow, all right, that will be done at 9:30 p.m. in our live trading room, mywallstreettv.com. Password to login is SMART, S-M-A-R-T. You can also use that to get access to our chat room tomorrow morning. At the same time, I believe Thursday I'm going to be doing a webinar in that live chat room after the close. I have not decided the topic yet, but we're working on some good stuff for you guys, so be there and get some free information, some good education, and that's what we like to do here. So anyways, let's go and take a look at the SPY daily chart. SPY monthly chart. SPY monthly chart, as you can see here, we have been holding above that key 140 level for the past, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for the past 5 months, guys, we've been holding a nice little base around 140 on the SPY on the monthly time frame if you look at that. And now we could be lifting out of this little closing price area. Let me see if I can zoom in on this right here. All right, now we're basically possibly going to be moving out this area. So as long as we can continue to hold above this close right here from September, which that closing price is 143.97, call it 144. As long as the SPY can hold above 144, I think we're in good shape. I still think we're in the buy the dip mode, which has been working intraday, which we've been telling our guys in the room. If you don't get short the market, maybe just look to see if you're looking to get long a stock and the stock that you have on your long radar doesn't go up right on the open or whatever the case may be. Well, look for it to buy it against maybe your support 2 level, your support 3 level for a buy the dip setup or scenario there. All right. So, anyways, taking a look at the weekly chart on the SPY, the level that we're going to be watching going into this coming week here. If we can get a break above 147.25 and hold above that level, we will be looking for a move up here towards 148.11. And then I zoom out now, and you can see that the next support level after 148.11, next resistance level after 148.11 is around this level right here, 149.68. And then really isn't until like around 151.5 on the SPY. So this could get a little bit interesting. And that's why we have to make sure we have our, our ABC list set up for the bull stocks and for the bear stocks so we can be prepared for what could take place in the coming weeks, which to me looks like the market wants to push up, and it just feels like the market wants to push up. So SPY, watch those key levels I discussed. And again, as long as we hold this week's low, last week's trading week's low here, 144.98, we should be in good shape. So taking a look at the daily chart now, you can see here we're kind of starting to trade out that little range. Let me just move this down a bit. All right, we're starting to trade out of this range. Now we got 2 consecutive closes above this 146.39 resistance level. We have these rising moving averages that are looking pretty good. So everything looks good. And for the fact that next week Monday, we're going into next week Monday with two of these with two of these nice closes above this 146.39 level, with the trigger on the SPY being a buy with this 147.16 area. and then the opening price of this big candle reversal that we had right here, the closing price of that candle is 147.20. We can actually get a nice little Momo pop. Obviously, we're going to need to see that volume pick up down there. But if we get some good morning volume, if we get some good volume coming in during the morning session, that's going to be another clue to watch for a push up to the afternoon. So it's going to be pretty interesting. That's all I got to say. And let's go and take a look at the Qs, see how the Qs are shaping up. I want to start by taking a look at the monthly chart to see how we closed out the month. All right, monthly chart looking pretty good. I believe, I went over this monthly chart in the last review. But monthly chart looking pretty good still, holding above that 65 level on the triple Qs. Take a look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart continuing to hold above the 66 level. If we trigger a long trigger on the Qs would be above the 67.34 level, which is last week's highs. All right, so right over here over this right over here over this 67.35 level should take us back up towards 68. We break over 68, we're looking at 68.50, then we're looking back here at the 69 area. All right, but now when we go to our daily chart, you can see, remember what I told you guys from before, we still have this little consolidation, a little price supply overhead supply right here from this little range that we have from this little consolidation that we had before we rallied up over here back in September. We try to hold above that prior resistance, which should act as support right here. It did it. We fell right back into that little zone. So now this area that acts as support, try to hold as support, but it failed. Try to get back above it, failed again. So this whole area right here above 67.50, man, has a lot of supply. All right, so we would need to get a break above 67.50 and get a couple consecutive closes above that level to show that we're holding that bid there. But we break above 67.50, we're going to be looking towards that 68 level and 68.50 or so. All right, if you guys recall the example that I gave you guys of what happens when you break into a price overhead supply zone, you can take it Baidu for a quick example here. Again, I'll show you guys again this week. I'll show you guys again here today. This stock's still moving up after it broke to the supply zone. You had all this consolidation right here. All right, we broke down. I got the cells involved. So basically, everybody has their stop right above this overhead supply zone that was acting as support, but then it broke down. And then what happens is, when we get those buyers starting to come back in, they squeeze those shorts out back into that supply. Basically demand picks up. Starts eating through all the supply. Shorts get squeezed. They have to start covering the shares. Buyers get involved, and you get that nice little pop up like you see there. And usually the target's back up towards the top of the supply zone, which is around here, around 116.84. All right, now let's take a look at the triple Qs in that case, and you can see here the supply zone, all right, which comes from this overhead supply from this little consolidation, again, that happened back here. All right, if we get a break above 67.38, we can see the same scenario take place in the market. So you want to make sure you have your strong list of technology stocks, and I have a couple for you guys that we'll take a look at here shortly. So let's take a look at the IWM monthly chart. Of course, the IWM being one of the stronger indexes out there right now, as this thing's making new all-time highs, made new all-time highs this week, and a trigger to get long would take place if this breaks over 87, call it 75. This thing should go over 88. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. We got a nice expansion candle here on the weekly, nice little consolidation pause bar in the upper 38% range there. And we could have another we could have another week or even 2 more weeks of this thing just kind of flagging out up here, consolidating a bit for a power move. Not saying that stocks are going to just trade sideways. You're going to have those stocks, of course, show relative strength and break out. But just keep that in mind. The market was kind of slow on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Thursday, it was kind of slow during the morning time, but then we had this nice little bull flag that set up around 2 o'clock or so. Then we broke out on Thursday. Friday, we had a pause day. But for the most part, Wednesday was a quiet session. Thursday started off as a quiet session until the buyers came in the close, and Friday was pretty much a quiet session. So, we're still looking for. Seems like people are still looking to see if the market really wants to go higher. In other words, they're waiting for some of these stocks to build a base so they can manage the risk a little bit better. So let's take a look at the IWM daily chart, and you can see here the IWM has come a long way. All right, so you want to make sure you don't get too giddy up here. But if we could build a nice little base, we're still holding this big gap, um, this big gap price right here around the 86 level from the low that we made last week Wednesday. We're still holding that level there. So again, the market may want to come back and check that bottom level again. We may even want to come back and try to fill some of this channel. So be careful, with those trying to buy the TNA or the IWM up here, unless we get that nice momentum push and we see that across the board. All right, so let's go and take a look at the dollar index. The dollar index got crushed on Thursday and continued its selling pressure on Friday. Notice how this level right here that we highlighted to you guys last week around the 81 level is acting as resistance, which also coincides with this 200-day moving average up here, which is kind of flattening out in the background, which you can see it right here. It's flattening out. Other 200-day exponential is flattening out. So therefore, if the dollar index continues to go lower to the bottom of this range, we're most likely probably going to continue to see a bid in some of these commodity stocks, a bid in some of these stocks that do a lot of business overseas with these big heavy industrial equipment companies like Caterpillar. With the dollar declining down, it's going to make it less expensive for those people over there to buy some of our products. So we'll see. Just keep an eye on some of these companies and some of these sectors that are related to the weakness in the dollar. All right, 'cause the dollar does look like it wants to go back down towards its 79 level. All right, so let's take a look at the euro. I got some good stuff for you guys on the euro that trade currency out there. We don't trade the euro in the chat room, nothing like that, but we do track it just for the fact it gives us a good, gives us a good gauge to look at of the whole currency market, and we can use it because if you guys recall, when the euro is strong, the market was usually strong with the bid, and vice versa. When the dollar was weak, the euro is usually strong and the market's strong. So if we take a look at it in that case, we've been calling the breakout in the euro. All right. Since back here when we broke above this key level, then we highlighted the fact how the euro was just basically giving you guys a nice little bullish channel consolidation. We talked about the euro going back from back here in November being a possible good area to buy, and that started working out. Then we got that nice little breakout over this trend line right here. And you guys could go back to the videos during these time periods, and you guys will see that we talked about that in our video reviews. So let's take a look to see what the euro's doing right now. And I know a lot of currency traders on Facebook, so if you guys take a look at this, you guys may like this interesting analysis right here. The euro is, breaking out this nice next bull channel that took place right here. You can see how we had some little shakeouts, which we discussed getting short the euro up in this area right here, possibly for a move lower. That did take place, move down, and now we're back with that key channel. And now you can see really what happened here. This was just basically a nice little leg up off of this bullish consolidation from this little wider range channel. Now I do have some key levels for you guys to watch. Let me take this off right here. All right, and you can see here the key level that you guys need to be watching if you guys trade the currencies, or if we're watching the euro, to see if the euro does get rejected, maybe some buying starts coming into the dollar. All right, key level to watch, since the euro did just break out this little downward channel that I highlighted. It also broke over this 133 level here. But this key trend line is what's going to be important around this 134.44 area. Maybe even it pushes up towards this 135 area. Where does that key trend line come from on the euro? And I know I'm getting a little bit too much into the euro, which I normally don't do, but it's important to watch. So therefore, this key trend line right here. If you guys see, this was a little breakdown that we had called on the euro back here in May. All right, so that's a breakdown. So this could be moving up towards a back test. Now, this is the thing. If this euro pops up here and gets to that level and gives us some reversal signals, all right, that's going to give us a clue that we need to start watching the dollar for a possible reversal. So, in other words, we got a lot of interesting things coming up in the currency markets, and we're going to be on top of that as well to see how it translates into the equity markets. All right, so let's take a look at the gold futures here. All right, if you guys recall, I've been talking about the gold futures being at an interesting area to get involved at. However, every time it bounces up, they give it right back. But as long as we can continue to hold the 1640 level right here and continue to kind of like to develop this range and stay in this range, all right, that would be pretty good. Because remember, we're still above this key trend line that we have from these higher lows that we were putting in here back in June and July. You can see we touched that trend line back in December at held. We touched a trend line again here in early January, and that held as well. Okay. So gold looks a little bit interesting. Still not time to get too giddy with it. But as you can see here on the weekly chart on the gold, we are holding again that level, that 1642 bid that comes from this prior resistance. So now it's acting as support. So again, as long as we can continue to hold this 1640 level, all right, we start to see some bids come in. We're going to be looking to focus a little bit more on the gold stocks, gold sector, precious metals. I don't think it's quite the time yet because we need some more signals. Right, we do not want to get caught trying to buy right here, and then we break below 1650. And of course, you guys know if we break back below 1650, back below this prior resistance, which should be acting as support on this side, we could come right back down, all the way down towards the bottom of the range. Do I see that happening? No, because this is actually a nice little consolidation breakout. So it's getting interesting, and we're waiting to see what this gold wants to do. All right. Let's go and take a look at silver. I know a lot of you guys out there trade silver. SLV still holding that 29 bid. Not too much to talk about there. If we take a look at the weekly chart, kind of possibly some bearish action a little bit here as we got this down move, sideways consolidation. But again, as long as we can continue to hold this 29 level, it looks all right. Take a look at the monthly chart. Nothing going on there. And on the monthly chart, you can see a different picture a little bit here. You see it's trading in a range and that it could push back down towards a little bit at the bottom of the range if we were to get some selling. All right, so what else here? Let's take a look at copper. I like to take a look at copper via the copper futures. All right, this helps us out because this translates into possibly generating some trade ideas for us during the session, and maybe FCX or SCCO if copper's strong in the morning. Sometimes these stocks like to push up off of that and can give you a nice little trade set up for the morning time. So anyways, copper still looks pretty interesting. Holding this little range right here, this 364 level, and between this 373 level. Really not much going on right now after lifting off of this little move right here. Up move, sideways consolidation going on. Really not too much to talk about there. All right, so what else do I want to take a look at with you guys? Hold on one second. The GDX, the gold miners, can't forget about those stocks there. The sector has been giving you some decent tradable action during the day. All right, some of these stocks have been popping up here. They're starting to look like they're trying to warm up here. So if we take a look at the GDX, all right, let me take off the studies here. You guys, I've been telling you guys about that one channel. All right, been telling you guys how we've been trading this nice little channel on the GDX here. Remember, I'm going to go ahead and go through it again since we got some new followers starting to follow our videos now here. So we have this nice little channel that developed inside the GDX. All right, back here. All right, this is at an angle. Remember that this is at an angle, channel at an angle. We got that nice little breakdown right here, which we call to the short side. We sold off right back into our other key channel right here. Now we're trying to break back inside of that main channel. All right, make sure you're paying attention. I'm going to show you guys something pretty interesting here. We're trying to break back inside this main channel. As you can see, we failed. You can see we failed. You can see we failed. And now guess what? Now the GDX is starting to hold this 44 bid, and we're coming up into this little key channel again. All right, this sometimes usually leads into a compression since we have this 44 bid holding, and now the bid is going to start pushing this up, and we're going to get this break back and hopefully back inside this channel that we had when we developed it back here. All right, now so for some of you guys that can't see patterns that clear, all right, this is the same thing as a horizontal, all right, price channel. All right, the same thing as a horizontal price channel where you're trading in a range. You break down, you develop like another little range, all right, below it that's from the sell-off that's trying to break back inside it, but it can't, all right, and now we're starting to hold this little bid down here, which comes as 44 level, and we're trying to, hold that little higher bid to try to break back in there. It's at an angle, all right, so that's part of the channel trading, advanced channel trading stuff that I like to teach. All right, so anyways, let's go and take a look next at the volatility index. The VIX has been getting crushed. All right, not sure. It doesn't look like anybody has any fear in the market at all because everybody's just buying the dip, and like we've been saying, that continues to work, and that's kind of what we're going with, that we've been doing in our room, is buying the dip because there's just no sellers, at least not in any of the stocks that we've been watching. All right, so anyways, the volatility index is going right back down. It's back below this little key level that we highlighted back here in September when we called the breakout in volatility right here off of our key trend line. So let me zoom this out because this key trend line is going to come back into play again. All right, since we're back below that little base right here, this key trend line is going to come back into play, meaning that the market could, the volatility index, as long as it stays below its 1356 area, we could continue to fade back down and get a move back down towards that key channel right here, which would be around the $12 area, which that key channel is still relevant, again, because it comes from, these little key inflection levels that we had right here and from here, which kind of give us a clue when we were going to break out back here in October. So that's how the volatility index is looking. A couple key sectors I want to go over with you guys is the semiconductor sector. All right, the SOX. All right, if you guys recall, I talked about watching the SOX. The SOX is now, trying to fight back and get back inside this, chomp right through this overhead supply. All right, so we have bid starting to come back in. As long as we can continue to hold above this 390 level on the SOX, all right, and then now we hold above this 400 level. All right, that's going to above that 400 bid level. That's going to give us more clues that we're going to start making our way towards the top of this supply zone that we're kind of chomping our way through right now. And if that's the case, you want to make sure you're looking at some semiconductor stocks. Some of the ones that I have on watch, you can take a look at ALTR. All right, they have earnings next week, not next week, but the following week on the 23rd. So you want to be mindful of that. But you can see here the trend is, picking up in the short term here. Nice little steep uptrend in the short term. And this thing could be setting up for a move towards the top. All right, if we take a look at our closing prices system, all right, you can see here we closed above this 34 level. We made a higher low on top of that 34 level off of this key inflection closing price around that 34 level. And we got two consecutive higher closes from Thursday and Friday. So let's see how this one sets up. Take a look at the 60-minute chart. You can see we have a nice little bull flag. Actually, so this looks pretty nice, guys. We have a nice bull flag setting up here. Nice expansion candle above this prior consolidation right here. And we're kind of flagging between this 35.20 and 35.40 area. Once we break above 35.40 and hold, you can expect us to start cruising higher. However, if we do fall back in, this thing should have some support around the 34.60 level back down there that maybe may need some more time to put a nice little higher low in. And if we take this little key inflection point right here, or this one down there, you can see we have that nice little trend line that kind of matches up right there. All right, this could be viewed as a little shakeout off these little two areas. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. I know I talked a little bit too much in this video because I'm already at my time limit that I'm normally not at, which I'm usually done by now. So anyways, ALTR looks good. Intel shaping up. This stock has been a dog, but it's starting to shape up. It's breaking this nice little downtrend that it had right here. All right, it's broke that downtrend, kind of sold off a little bit, put that little higher low in, and they bought it off of that. And they have earnings coming out pretty soon here. Let's see. They have earnings next week on the 17th, which I believe is Thursday. All right, so next week, Thursday. Another semiconductor stock you can take a look at is AVGO. All right, this one looks pretty good. Volume is picking up in it. It's trying to break past its 20-day moving averages. Next target looks to be around 35. Let's take a look at the quick look at the 60-minute chart, and that looks like it's getting ready to continue moving higher. Again, I'm not going to go over a lot of stocks, but that's what we're going to do tonight at 9:30 p.m. in our mywallstreettv.com. Password is SMART to log into our trading room, and we're going to go over some of these good stocks later on tonight. So let me show you a couple more stocks. I do like the OIH sector. Our OIH is shaping up pretty well. Notice how we had this little head and shoulders pattern that was developing right here, even popped up above that little range to give us that little bull trap, which usually takes place at the top of the head, came right back down, held that left shoulder, and try to break down. But guess what? That measured move would have gave you a sell-off all the way from 39 to a high of, say, 44. That should have sold off $5. If we take a look at from 39 minus 5, should have took it down to 34. So that pattern measure move, and it did it. All right, so that pattern measure move did not take place, and now the market, now the OIH is kind of, starting to form this little higher basis going on here. So keep an eye on the OIH. In that sector, I like RIG. RIG obviously is extended here, so I wouldn't be a buyer up here. may need to pull back, say, early next week, or even if it does have some momentum into it, you could take it for a day trade. But I would not be initiating any swing positions up here on rig. If you want to do that, you want to wait for a pullback for sure. Do not buy it up here unless you're trading it intraday and it gets Momo. One stock that I do like is DO, another energy stock, another oil driller out there. You can see how the same example I like to show you guys with the price supply. You can see how this one is actually above the price action. So this is actually demand down here, I would call it. Not call it, but that's what it is. There's some nice demand down here, and as long as we can hold above that demand, the least path of resistance is to the top side. All right, we do have some nice support down there at 69.40 if it does want to pull back down there to kind of check that level again and then move higher. But keep that one on watch. I like the weekly chart. Weekly chart's trying to break past these 200-day moving averages here on the weekly time frame. And then I like how the monthly chart's shaping up as well, because if you actually zoom in here, which I'm going to do right now, you can see that this thing has been trading in a range between 54 and this 70 level. All right, since mid 2011 to where we're currently at right now. But now you can see we held this little higher base going into this new year, so this could be building up some momentum to move higher. See the monthly charts sitting right up on top of all these moving averages. So a lot of good stuff out there, guys. Again, I don't want to go over too much in this video and make it too long. I'll have some more stuff tonight at 9:30 p.m. in our live trading room, mywallstreettv.com. Password to login is smart. If you have not been to our website yet, check it out, wallstreettrading.com. If you're interested in looking for a prop firm to trade with or education, contact us. We have some good stuff for you guys. And, we got a lot of good stuff going on going forward. We're going to try to do a webinar, say, next week, Thursday, all right, on the 17th, going over most likely probably risk management, how to enter a position with the right psychology behind the trade with risk management and everything. So we'll see. Have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy Sunday Night Football. There's going to be some good games on tonight, and I'll catch you guys tonight. Have a great day. Cheers.